mandatory. That is mandatory. So if the day lord is only retrograde, then the challenge is more, because then it's like saying the whole thing you have to do it twice. That's a big task. And then if the now then the question is, how do we solve the problem? So suppose we see that things are not very good, then we try to check how can we strengthen those planets which are giving that result. So for example, if somebody is asking question pertaining to 10th house, or the day lord rules the 10th, so now it's very weird. Sometimes it can happen. I have seen this happening. The person will come and ask you, sir, when I will get married. So you will think, oh, okay, we need to check 7th house, Venus, okay, it's done actually, we will finish it very fast. But then it's very weird. The person comes to you on a Wednesday and the person is maybe a Sagittarius rising, and then Mercury is ruling the 10th house. So then you're like, okay, so Mercury also rules the 7th, it also rules the 10th. And generally these two houses are not in harmony always, marriage and career.
Right.
More than the other is always going down. Then how do you see what to do? So then you have to see the Mool Trikon Rashi is where.
Okay.
Because only Sun and Moon will have one sign. All the other planets will rule two houses. Then you check where is the Mool Trikon Rashi. So for example, if a Sagittarius rising is asking a question on Wednesday, then Mool Trikon sign of Mercury is the 10th house, Virgo. So now it's very weird. The person is not interested in 10th house. He's only asking when will I get married. Now how do you solve this question? Well, actually what is happening, then maybe the ascendant is having some link with the 7th lord, because that is always going on in his head 24 hours. Marriage. But because the day lord is ruling the 10th house as the Mool Trikon Rashi, the marriage is getting delayed because of the 10th house. So you should not always trust the client, what he's saying in face value. If you think, oh, 7th house, okay, 10th house, forget it, no, not required. Then you have done the biggest blunder. You have taken, your first step is only wrong. You have made the blunder in the first step. You are going on analyzing everything and you are not checking where Mercury is. Or as I said, Capricorn Lagna, Friday, 10th Lord Venus, and he's asking you, when will I get married? So then what do? Okay, Capricorn Lagna, Moon is the 7th Lord. Okay, where is Moon? I checked that. Interesting. But no, if he's on here on a Friday, then the first question has to be related to the 10th house, because Venus for Capricorn rules two houses, 5th and the 10th. But Libra is Mool Trikon, that is the 10th house. So that means you have to counter question the client. You have to ask him, sir, what about your career? What's happening there? Then he will start telling, oh, actually, one proposal came, but I was here, she was there, this was not happening. That one. Then you understand what is the starting point. Then you know because of which house the challenge is coming, first of all.
Right.
And then sometimes the 9th house is there. So you have to kind of see what is happening. And then 9th house Karaka is Jupiter. And then you have to see, is it a guru or a father? If guru, then Jupiter. If father, then it's the sun. So then this is how you finally come to a conclusion. It's like reading a normal birth chart only. It is not some exceptional, and there is no some exceptional. Although there are many rules given in the classics, like for example, they check the placement of the moon. They say if moon is in the Kendra, that means that thing is going to come very quickly. But now I always respect the classics, and I have nothing against it. But in my opinion, I think people have applied these very literally. Because there are many things. Sometimes if suppose somebody is asking you when they will get married and you see moon is in the 7th. But if you use the concept of Bhav Chalit, if it is behind the ascendant's degree, it is in the 6th house.
Right.
then you have made a big blunder. You see, you tell that, oh, the person is going to get married, and then after 1 month the person is like, sir, you said अभी 10 दिन में शादी होगा मेरा, किधर कोई नहीं मिल रहा है, 1 महीना हो गया. So it's all the different ways. So to summarize, first you check the day lord, the house is ruled, then the placement and the planets conjunct. I did not speak about this, so let me say about this. So if suppose the person is if the day lord is ruling the fifth house, for example, so then that means the inquiry is primarily about childbirth, if the couple is married, of course. And then if suppose let's take again same let's take any example, let's take Scorpio rising, for example, then Jupiter becomes the second and the fifth lord.
Right.
Now if suppose Jupiter, so suppose somebody asks this question after 7th April, because that time Jupiter Venus Saturn will be conjunct in Capricorn.
Yes, yes.
7th April, around that time. So now what? The day lord, the day is also Jupiter, and he's ruling the second and the fifth, but he's conjunct this Saturn in Capricorn. So then that means there is going to be a lot of delay by default. Even if the fifth lord is exalted, there will still be delay because the day lord is with Saturn. Because if you see, why do I stress about Saturn? Not just because he's Saturn, he's the bad guy, he's the late guy. No, not because of that. If you check the system of the day, who is the initial giver? It's the sun, right? So, which is the last day from the sun? It is Saturday. Okay, and I have tried to use this for various methodologies, and it works perfectly. I have seen. So, for example, somebody is asking you a question about, let's take the example of Mercury, or so let's take Thursday, Jupiter's example. So, in that planet, in that Prashana, if somehow Mercury gets a very prominent role as the Lagnesh or the day lord, then the outcome is not very good if it is related to Jupiter, because Mercury is it is the sixth day, or you could say the last day from Thursday is Wednesday. Similar is if the question is pertaining to marriage, and marriage again, the modern marriage, okay, not the traditional marriage. Then if somehow Jupiter is playing a very important role, he's in Lagna, or he's the day lord, or or he's ruling the seventh, and the question is pertaining to marriage, then it could happen that there is again some delay, because the planet which is ending you, so Friday's ending is Thursday, that planet has become very powerful. So it's like saying he's eating up a lot of time and space from the house. Yeah, so it's like that. So for Saturday, if the person is asking you, sir, I want to go to Haridwar and do some tapasya and be in seclusion, loneliness, no mobile, nothing, and then you see Venus is sitting in the ascendant, it's going to be a problem there. Because Saturday is Friday is the ending day of Saturday. So that instead of doing tapasya, the person might go and indulge in doing bhog vilas there, which is Venus. Yeah, and somebody is asking about sun, like name, fame, power, position, and then Saturn is the most prominent planet. Saturn is poverty. So there you see. Sunday, Saturday, Friday, Thursday, then. So yeah, that is how you understand. And same is for Tuesday. The person is asking, I want to be a military officer, and then Moon is in Lagna. Then very challenging. I want to be, but I don't like the people there. So I think people have used these words from the classics literally, and they don't interpret them according to time, place, circumstances. So I have seen them working to the extent you apply them, and you see sometimes in classics there may be many rules,
Mm.
But you see, for you, some of them will not work, some will work. So
Mm.
you have to see what works. So for me, I have seen the Vara Lord works, and the houses which it rules, then the place where it is placed, the house where it is placed, the exaltation or debilitation or the dignity, then the ascendant, which
Mm.
planets are affecting the ascendant, what is going on in your head.
Mm.
Then we check the Lord of the ascendant, what is the situation of the Lord of the ascendant, and then of course we check the Karaka, who is the Karaka for that house.
Right.
So when we do this analysis, and then we get an understanding that what is the chances of that event happening at all, or if there is any chance at all of that happening. And if you see everything is spoiled, then most of the times it's a no. If the person is asking, oh, will I get promotion? And if these planets are in the 8th or the 12th, then 99% of the cases I've seen, the person doesn't get promotion. Okay, and if yes, for marriage, 6th house is involved, forget it. Yeah. So now suppose they ask, okay, I want to get married. How can I get married? So if the 4th house is involved, then maybe the mother can recommend. If the 9th house, then the father, or in Mercury, then the relatives. So that's how you can figure out from where the person can find somebody to get married, or who can help him to get married. Then you can also check the Navamsha. So once you finalize which are the most important planets in that Prashna chart, you check the Navamsha chart for that Prashna chart only.
Okay. I have one more question before we move to Navmansha. It is like the Lagna rising, it has got a say. Like, suppose if it is a fixed Lagna, for example, it is Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, right? Then can we say the outcome of the Prashna is more towards positive? Suppose if a person asks, when will I get a job? Then if we see a Leo rising, considering all other factors as well, the Vara Lord, the Day Lord, the as position of the ascendant and the moon. If we see a fixed lagna rising, then we can say one plus to that thing that okay, he'll be getting very soon. Maybe the timeline we
Uh,
can decide later, but the
I've
outcome
seen,
is more towards positive.
no, I would not say positive or negative. I would say the change is difficult
Okay. Mm-hmm.
because it's a fixed lagna. So if a person is unemployed, that means he will remain unemployed.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
not permanently, but it will take some time.
Mm-hmm.
Because the sthira lagnas, they are fixed, right? So therefore the time is even more, I have seen. And if it's a chala lagna, then bang on.
Then immediately we can see results immediately, right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it can be for worse also. Suppose somebody is
Okay.
asking me, uh, my marriage is, I'm married and my marriage is not very good.
Okay.
Okay. Then what will happen? Will my marriage improve or deteriorate?
Mm-hmm.
Then if you see the 6th house is very strongly playing a role,
Mm-hmm.
and the lagna is either Aries, Libra, or Capricorn, or this Cancer, then
Mm-hmm.
bang on, it's going to spoil very fast, because now the negativity will change very fast. You see, it will turn
Okay.
negative very fast. And if the trines are involved and the 7th house is involved, then the marriage will become better very fast.
Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now if it's a sthira lagna,
Mm-hmm.
then marriage will improve. Oh, yeah, yes, no. Will it be bad, worse? Yes, no, after some time, not now.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
generally, it has to do with, I have seen when the Lord of the Lagna in transit,
Mm-hmm.
whenever they will again somehow impact these planets, and then it will happen. So, for example, suppose somebody is a Scorpio rising,
Okay.
then Mars becomes the Lagna Lord.
Right.
Okay. So Mars is currently in the 2nd house in Sagittarius.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean in transit currently.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then suppose somehow the question is pertaining to marriage and all this, and Scorpio is at Sthira Lagna again. So
Mm-hmm.
then when Mars again goes to 6th house, he will again aspect the ascendant with the 8th aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Or in transit, he will aspect the 7th Lord Venus, something of this sort will happen.
Mm-hmm.
Only then the event happens. I mean, that's a different analysis altogether when that happens.
Right.
But this is how I have seen, the Lagna is very important and the Lagnesh is also very important.
Very important, right? Mm.
Yes. And yeah, and if it's a dual Rashi, the ascendant, then it's like, I would say, there is some amount of free will. It's like, if you want, you can ruin your marriage. Marriage is not going good, and the Sthira Lagna is this Dvisabhava, dual sign is rising.
Mm.
And then suppose the negative pull is more, sixth house is becoming very prominent. Then you know that the marriage can go down.
Mm.
But
Mhm.
because it is a dual sign, you can tell the person that if you take the right steps, it may not happen.
Mm. Mhm.
But if
Mhm.
it is a Chala Lagna, then bang on, it's happening.
Then it is happening.